Well, it's the beginning of May here in Vermont. Yesterday was what they call Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you, which makes today the Revenge of the 5th. And it has been the Revenge of the 5th. It's about 40 degrees outside, winds blowing strong out of the north. It's cold and windy and not a boating day. But it's a good day for me to start rebuilding the helm. We started small, having fun and learning as we went along, but always thinking bigger. We bought a boat we could sleep on and took some overnight trips. Then we moved up to a 32-foot Nordic tug we've named Three Ravens. This is our classroom as we learn everything we need to know to move from living on land to full-time liveaboards. Join us. We're Bill and Lisa, and we want to live on a boat. Last year, I was using the iPad as a major source of my navigation. And some kids broke into a bunch of boats in the marina I'm in and kind of ransacked the place, drank some alcohol that they found, and stole various items, including the Garmin GPS antenna I had hooked up to the iPad. I couldn't figure out why they'd want to steal a Garmin GPS antenna, and apparently neither could they, because they were caught and this was retrieved, and I finally got it back from the police, so I'm going to be hooking that up. But when that happened and I essentially lost my navigation, I decided that was about time to put in a new chart plotter. The chart plotter that was on the boat was the original one from 20 years ago. So I bought a Garmin chart plotter and bought it off of Amazon and waited for it to come. Now time was kind of short because we were about to take a trip up the Chambly Canal, through the Richelieu River, and up to Quebec City. And that was going to be in about a week or 10 days. And so I quickly ordered something from Amazon. 3 days later, what arrived was a box full of diapers, which meant that I got a box full of diapers, and some woman with a preemie baby, because these were preemie diapers, got a $3,000 chart plotter. Neither one of us could have been very happy with what we received. I sent that back and they said, oh, we'll get you another one in 10 days. Well, that wasn't enough time. So I found a marina nearby that could order one and get it the next day. And I very quickly installed it, just in time for us to take the trip. But I've never been happy with the installation job. As you can see, the fittings aren't very good. So I'm going to be rebuilding that today. I've always liked the look of the Nordivan helm and used that as a model. First, I needed to pull down some extra cable that was stored up above to make it easier to move instruments in and out of the helm. Using the old front plate, I created a new front plate to fit the new instruments, and then glued that to some melamine flooring that I thought looked very similar. I was quite pleased with the result. Not everything that we do is just fun playing on the water. Part of getting ready for living on a boat is setting up the finances around doing that. And one of the first things that we realized is that living here in Vermont, if we were to purchase a boat, it would cost us quite quite a bit in tax. 6% of $300,000 or $400,000 is a lot of money. I've learned, however, that there is no boat tax in Rhode Island, which leaves us the possibilities of moving to Rhode Island, but we live here in Vermont right now and we're working still. So what we've done is to set up a corporation in Rhode Island that will become a holding company. A lot of people have asked me, how do you set up a corporation? What does it cost? How's it done? I have found the process to be remarkably easy and quite inexpensive. Now, in Rhode Island, and I suspect in all states, you need a registered agent in the state. And I used a company called Parasearch. Now, there are a number of companies that will do this for you. I can't say that Parasearch is any better or worse than any other company. I haven't used any other ones. But what I did was to go onto their website and ask you a bunch of questions, just the same questions a lawyer would ask you for a ridiculous fee. What is your name? What is your address? What is the purpose of your corporation? Is this a partnership? Blah, blah, blah. It then plugs that into a document that is used to register your corporation with the state. You can print that out for your own needs or purpose, but they take that and they register it with the state. Now, to register a corporation in Rhode Island, the fee is $150. And Parasearch charges $125 for the service. So for $275, I've got a corporation in Rhode Island. Now, Rhode Island then also charges a $50 fee for every corporation per year. But I figure that by saving myself upwards of $15,000 for $50 a year, for 5 or 6 years, I'm still having a significant savings. Now, you will also need articles of association, and in my case, a partnership agreement. So I went to a website known as LegalZoom, and they'll give you a week for free. And if you want to use it after that, and I guess there are reasons to do that, there's a fee for that. But I went right onto the website, and in the same thing, it asks you a bunch of questions and then comes up with a document of your articles of association. I saved that onto my computer, or print it out, whatever I want to do. I also did a partnership agreement. The whole thing took me about an hour. I then ended my membership with LegalZoom, and since it was less than a week, it was free. So for $275 and about an hour and a half of work, I've got a corporation in Rhode Island, articles of association, and a partnership agreement. I found it to be remarkably easy and simple. Anybody can do it. Well, as you know, everything that we're doing right now is preparing us, not everything that we're doing, but a lot of what we're doing right now is preparing us for our anticipated living on a boat. And that includes taking little mini trips. And we're just back from a fabulous trip we took to a little island in Lake Champlain named Valcour Island. It's a New York State park. It's beautiful, primitive trails. We pulled into a little harbor and had a wonderful 3-day trip.
Spoon Bay.
Spoon Bay.
Yeah. Well, one of my fears about living on a boat was that I was going to be stuck on a boat all the time. And so that got to show me this past 3 days. We did a lot of hiking on the trails, and I got to do quite a bit of foraging and seeing all the big gorgeous oak trees and the new spring flowers, and so that filled my land needs. And then we're back on the boat. Even a big thunderstorm came in, and I loved it. I loved being on the boat with the rain pouring down and thunder and lightning. It was wonderful. So
there are a lot of campsites on Valcour Island, and I guess we could have just gone onto the island and set up some tents. Yeah. But when those rainstorms came, I could imagine just sort of sitting there in the tent, and watching the leaks form in the tent. And we were really comfortable here in Three Ravens, and we were sitting eating dinner and watching the rain come pouring down, comfy as we could be.
Yeah. Well, just fell in love with it more and more, and can't wait.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the life that I want. It was a wonderful combination of doing some exercise on shore, hiking and working out, and then coming back, sitting on the upper deck and watching the sunset. I think we're getting closer and closer every day to our goal.
No swimming yet because it's 45-degree
Still
water.
A little chilly in Lake Champlain here in northern Vermont. But we're also doing our part in social isolating by enjoying some of the warm summer days and boat life here in Vermont. We're Bill and Lisa. Join us on our 2-year journey towards living on a boat, because we want to live on a boat.